Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Alpha Dean, and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Now, this video is going to be on the recent update that we've just had, the 1120. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, what an update it has been. I may even go as far as to say that this is one of the best quality alives, up there on par, if not better, than the free gear enhancement one that we had. Not only has this update given us small features such as your champion rebalances that we have every now and again, it's also removed the red dot from here, which a lot of you guys find annoying, and that's from the leaderboards. If you've not placed top 100, that red dot will no longer be there for you. So I know that's something that a lot of you guys are going to find a good feature of the update. It's also given us, if I can go to my champions, a way to identify which pieces of gear have been reworked. So if I find a champion with a reworked piece of gear, I believe this one was. Yeah, so now look, you'll see a hammer and a spanner icon next to any pieces of gear that have previously been reworked. If you look at ones that haven't, look, they do not have that. So that's a visual indication that it's been reworked. Let me just, and it also shows you that it's been reworked here as well. So just a small little update there. However, there are two, maybe three, depending on how you look at it, features to this update that I think are absolutely massive. And I personally love them. Now, I have unfortunately already ran my Iron Twins, but there is, there is now Super Raids alongside this. Now, I wasn't expecting this Super Raids at all. I mean, look how long that it took them to introduce Super Raids for Minnow, which has been here since the tests of time, and this has only recently been implemented. So for the likes of Iron Twins, which is fairly new, a lot newer than Minnow at least, so for that to have had this Super Raids, I think is just amazing. Iron Twins is an area of the game where if you're able to do stage 15, you should be doing it on a daily basis. These Mortal Soul coins, alongside your essences, they are really valuable as you start progressing in your account, and so this should be a priority for you, especially on a Sunday. If you don't know, on Sunday, these rewards, they're all doubled on a Sunday. So if you're not doing them every weekday, then you should be doing them on the Sundays. So yeah, I think that this is going to affect so many players for the better. It just saves so much time, and with time being as bad of an issue as what it is within the side of game, just for the fact that there is so much content, more updates like this need to be happening, especially with the likes of new content such as Grim Forest being introduced. Like, this is now an extra area of the game where we've been putting our time. So with that being said, that leads me onto the second major feature to this update, and that is Arena. More specifically, Tag Team Arena. Now, if you haven't already seen this, I mean, just look how much better this is. We all know this game mode could be very time consuming and not enjoyable, I'd say, for the majority of the player base. I didn't used to run this like at all when I first come back to the game. I used to just leave it, and then it became something that I was doing just the 5 runs on, just to get my dailies done. And then as I slowly started getting into it, the more and more time that I'd have. So if I had the time, I'd run 10. You know, my first 10, but it was very, very rare that I would run the whole 20 that you get in a day. But just look how much faster this is. Obviously your green indicates your victory, and I don't think that I'll get a red, but if you lose one of these battles, it comes up red. So it's just so much faster. It saves so much time. I think it's absolutely brilliant, and I think this is the area of the update that the majority of the players are going to find the best. I think this is going to start getting people to start playing Tag Team Arena a lot more. The only issue with it being is it doesn't start until you hit Silver 1. Now, I flicker between Silver 3 and Gold 1. It's not really something that I've been bothered about, to be fair. I do try and get my Gold from here, especially more so recently, so this is going to be a lot faster just for these resources. Like, these resources, they're pretty good. There is a void as well here waiting for me, so just grab that. But yeah, I might now start playing to get to Gold more regular, just to pick up this, because it's so much faster. And I think it could also be, what I'm interested in is, see here, so we've got this person with obviously just loads of food set up in his defense, and this has been something that a lot of us do, right? We'll put in food just so that people attack us, and then we get lower down points wise, therefore giving us easier opponents to fight, just to gain these extra gold bars. And then on the last day, we will switch it out for a proper team, such as maybe this, and then we'll work our way back up to stay either where we are or to progress if we're wanting to progress further on. So if we're to look at my defense, you'll see I've done exactly the same. It's all just food. So that's what I've got, and then on the last day I'd switch that out. As you can see, nobody's having any issues defeating my teams. So that brings us to the third, and I believe the best feature that never got implemented, and that is, of course, the relic visualization. Live Arena isn't open at the minute, so let's just see if... Okay, so there was going to have the relics visualized so you could see exactly what relics they had on by clicking a button that was going to be down here, I believe, that said show relics, and it'd show you exactly what the relics had on. I hated this idea. So I have noticed that now they do have this crown icon to indicate that they have relics equipped. I'm hoping that this isn't a placeholder for them relics. I'm hoping that they've just scrapped the idea completely, and this is what they've now come up with, just to show that they do have relics equipped. I do not want in the game that you can see, especially at this stage, prior to going into battle, what relics it is that you have on. For the fact, like I said in my other video, it takes so long, right? It takes so long to get a mythical relic. By the time that you actually pull a mythical relic, imagine then equipping that onto a champion, right? Your opponent can then see that your champion has a mythical relic. They're going to, of course, ban that champion. You're going to have that relic on a good champion anyway. So the odds are that that champion may or may not have already got banned. I myself, I do have a mythical relic, and it is on a decent champion. Now, I do have quite a few decent champions now, as you can see. So the chances of my champion getting through that does have the mythical relic are still quite good. However, if they was to be able to see what relics that they actually had on, they would of course ban the one that had the mythical relic. And the chances of you getting another one anytime soon are slim to none. That's why I wasn't a massive fan of being able to see these relics prior to going into battle. Now the other thing that they did say is that when you was in battle, that you was going to be able to have access to that information as well. Right, and I believe that in regards to them saying, them being Polarium saying that this has been something that we have been asking for. The only thing that I can think of in regards to that, the only thing that makes any sense to me whatsoever, is if people have been asking for it in regards to when they're actually in battle. Because we've all been in situations, right, where we've been in a arena battle and something's happened and we're not quite sure what's gone off. So I think this is what we've been asking for, not to see the relics before we're going into battle. So I think that the idea where you're in game and you can go to the info and check what relics that they've got on there, it does seem quite viable to have that in. But I'd much rather them just not have it in at all, to be fair. Like, I have no issues with this. Like, every now and again, something does happen where I don't know what's gone off, but it doesn't bother me to the extent that I need to know what relics and what they have on. If they do implement this, what's next? You know? Are they going to start implementing, oh, well, you can check what gear sets they've got on? It just seems stupid. It's far too much information going in, and it just widens the gap between free-to-play and pay-to-win players. That's my thought on it. Like I say, if you are in the battle and you don't know what's happened, if you click on the info thing, oh, well, that's happened because he's got this relic does so-and-so, maybe that is what people have been asking for. That's all that I can think of in regards to it. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, that's been my thoughts on this update. I do think it's an absolutely brilliant update, especially, like I said, because they haven't implemented this relic visibility. I think they've done an amazing job. So, props to Polarium. That's been it from me for the video. I've been Alpha Dean. This has been a Raid Shadow Legends video. I'll catch you all in the next one.